you getting benched and ultimately not showing up for another game?
I hate this question.
Should there be a co-rookie of the year? And it feels like we are both on the same page here.
No, they're not equal. They're not.
The basketball world is still reeling after an intense showdown that left fans, analysts, and commentators stunned. Angel Reese, one of the most talked about rising stars, has been publicly exposed and criticized by experts, as Caitlin Clark delivered a performance so dominant it left the competition and the commentary teams reeling. What was meant to be a routine matchup quickly turned into a spectacle, and every move on the court was dissected, analyzed, and scrutinized in real time. Sources close to the game say that Reese struggled under pressure, unable to match Clark's precision, speed, and strategic playmaking. Analysts were quick to point out weaknesses that had previously been overlooked, showing how even top-tier athletes can falter when faced with elite competition. This wasn't just a simple loss, it was a breakdown under scrutiny, exposing gaps in technique, decision-making, and composure. The social media reaction was instantaneous. Clips of Clark dominating the floor went viral.
Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
While commentators broke down Reese's missed opportunities, poor rotations, and uncharacteristic mistakes, experts on live TV didn't hold back, pointing out that the loss wasn't just a one-off. It highlighted patterns that could affect Reese's reputation, her team's dynamics, and future matchups. Fans and insiders are debating the psychological impact as well. Being publicly exposed by analysts in such a high-profile setting can take a mental toll, especially for younger players navigating the pressures of elite-level competition. Sources suggest Reese has been introspective since the game, reviewing footage, analyzing every play, and trying to understand where things went wrong. This matchup has shifted narratives around Reese, who had previously been viewed as a rising powerhouse in women's basketball. Now, the focus is on her response. Will she adjust, learn, and bounce back stronger, or will this loss define her in the eyes of critics? Experts agree that how athletes handle such public scrutiny can be just as important as the game itself, and Reese's next moves will be crucial. As the sports world watches closely, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark's
WNBA released the All-Star rosters on Tuesday. Both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese made the 12-women roster that will be taking on Team USA in Phoenix later this month. So the impact of both rookies'
performance didn't just win the game. It reshaped the conversation around Angel Reese, showing fans and analysts alike that even top talents can be exposed under the brightest lights. The fallout from this game will be felt for weeks, making it a defining moment in both players' careers. The game started with the usual fanfare, packed arenas, and the kind of anticipation that sends a ripple of excitement through the basketball world. Fans, commentators, and analysts alike were buzzing over the matchup, eager to see Angel Reese face off against Caitlin Clark, two of the brightest young talents in women's basketball. From the opening tip, it was clear that this wasn't going to be just another game. The energy on the court was electric, but the stakes were higher than usual. Every move, pass, and shot would be scrutinized, amplified by live coverage and social media reaction in real time. Reese, known for her athleticism, power, and on-court charisma, stepped onto the court exuding confidence. She had a reputation for clutch plays and physical dominance, and her fans expected her to impose herself immediately. But Clark, with her sharp shooting, court vision, and strategic awareness, proved to be a formidable opponent from the very first possession. The early minutes revealed a pattern that would define the game. Reese's strength was undeniable, but Clark's speed and precision allowed her to exploit even the smallest openings. Analysts quickly noticed that Reese seemed slightly off her rhythm, struggling to anticipate Clark's movement and adjust defensively. By the first quarter, Clark had already started to carve out a significant lead. Her ball handling was exceptional, and her ability to read Reese's positioning made it clear that the matchup was not going to be straightforward. Reese tried to respond with aggressive plays, using her size and strength to assert dominance in the paint. While some plays succeeded, Clark's agility and quick decision-making neutralized many of Reese's efforts, highlighting moments where her defensive timing was just slightly off. Analysts on live TV began pointing out patterns: missed rotations, overcommitments on defense, and moments of hesitation on key possessions. These were minor individually, but cumulatively, they painted a picture of vulnerability that Clark capitalized on repeatedly. Offensively, Reese faced similar challenges. Clark's defensive pressure limited her passing options and forced hurried shots that didn't connect as reliably as they usually did. Experts noted that Reese's spacing and awareness were inconsistent, leaving gaps that allowed Clark to dominate fast breaks and create scoring opportunities. What was particularly striking was how Clark seemed to anticipate Reese's tendencies, exploiting them not through brute force, but with strategy and precision. This contrast was noted repeatedly by commentators, who emphasized that while Reese's athleticism was elite, basketball at this level demands more than raw talent. It requires anticipation, composure, and adaptability under pressure. As the game progressed, the pressure began to visibly affect Reese. Sources close to the team noted that she was aware of the cameras, social media scrutiny, and live commentary. Even the slightest mistake felt magnified. Clark's relentless scoring streak added to the tension, forcing Reese into reactive decisions rather than proactive plays. Analysts highlighted key moments where Reese's timing on screens was slightly off, or when a defensive positioning allowed Clark to slip past and execute open shots. Fans watching from home quickly took to social media, sharing clips and debating every move. Memes and commentary exploded, amplifying the scrutiny that Reese was already facing on the court. Despite the mounting pressure, Reese continued to fight. She made a few strong offensive drives and defensive blocks, showcasing why she had earned a reputation as a powerhouse. But Clark's dominance was consistent, and the margin of error for Reese shrank with every successful play Clark executed. Analysts emphasized that this wasn't about a lack of effort. Reese gave everything she had, but rather about execution and composure under extreme pressure. Even minor lapses became pivotal moments, as Clark was quick to exploit them with pinpoint accuracy. The second half of the game only intensified the narrative. Reese attempted to adjust, communicating with teammates and trying to readjust her defensive schemes. Yet Clark's anticipation and vision continued to dominate. Experts dissected every possession, noting how Reese's attempts to counter Clark's strategies often came just a fraction of a second too late. It was a clash of athleticism versus tactical precision, and while Reese had the raw power, Clark had the timing, patience, and court intelligence to maintain control. By the final quarter, the score reflected the struggle. Clark's consistent execution and Reese's slight missteps created a gap that became increasingly difficult to bridge. Analysts and commentators didn't hold back, calling out key errors, missed opportunities, and the strategic adjustments that either succeeded or failed. Social media commentary amplified every criticism, and the combination of live analysis and viral clips created a narrative that Reese was exposed under the brightest spotlight. While Reese fought valiantly until the final buzzer, the outcome left a lasting impression on fans and experts alike. It was more than a loss. It was a demonstration of how even elite talent can be challenged, dissected, and exposed when faced with equally skilled opponents who excel in anticipation and strategy. The game became a turning point, not just for Reese's career narrative, but also for the broader conversation about the pressures young athletes face, the scrutiny of experts, and the reality that public perception can change in a single high-stakes performance. In the end, Reese's first matchup against Clark in this context wasn't just about points on a scoreboard. It was a lesson in composure, preparation, and the unforgiving nature of elite competition. Fans, analysts, and insiders all walked away with a renewed understanding of the intensity of high-level basketball, and Reese herself would be forced to reflect, adjust, and prepare for the next opportunity to reclaim her narrative. As the dust settled from the opening quarter, the narrative around Angel Reese began to solidify in the minds of fans, analysts, and commentators alike. While she had entered the matchup with a reputation for dominance, athleticism, and tenacity, Caitlin Clark's relentless performance exposed gaps that few had seen before. What had started as speculation quickly transformed into a deeper analysis of Reese's abilities under pressure, revealing vulnerabilities that went beyond a single game and hinted at broader lessons for her career trajectory. From the outset, Reese struggled to find consistency. While her physicality allowed her to command attention in the paint, Clark's agility and awareness consistently neutralized her attempts to dominate. Experts noted that Reese's positioning was slightly delayed on defensive rotations, giving Clark openings to drive, pass, and score with precision. These moments were small individually, but repeated throughout the game, they created a cumulative disadvantage. Fans watching live began to notice patterns, while analysts highlighted the importance of mental agility in high-stakes basketball. Reese's strength was undeniable, but basketball at this level is as much about anticipation and decision-making as it is about raw power. Offensively, Reese faced a similar challenge. Clark's defensive coverage was sharp, forcing Reese into contested shots and rushed decisions. Analysts were quick to point out that Reese's spacing on the floor was inconsistent, limiting her passing options and reducing the effectiveness of team plays. Every misstep, no matter how minor, was amplified by Clark's speed and vision, demonstrating that even top-tier athletes can struggle when faced with an opponent who excels at reading and exploiting tendencies. The contrast between Clark's precision and Reese's occasional lapses became a central theme for commentators, creating a narrative that Reese was being exposed under elite-level pressure. The psychological component of the game became increasingly visible as the matchup progressed. Reese, aware of the cameras, social media buzz, and expert commentary, began to show subtle signs of frustration. Sources close to her team noted that she was not mentally disengaged, but the pressure of performing perfectly in a high-profile setting made each decision heavier. Clark's dominance amplified this effect, as every successful play by Clark forced Reese into reactive decisions, disrupting her rhythm and limiting her ability to control the flow of the game. Analysts highlighted key sequences where hesitation or misjudgment created openings for Clark, emphasizing the mental as well as physical demands of elite competition. In the second quarter, Reese attempted adjustments. She communicated with teammates, changed defensive angles, and tried to anticipate Clark's movements. Despite these efforts, Clark's anticipation and strategic decision-making maintained her advantage. Experts dissected plays live, highlighting how Reese's reaction times were slightly slower than required, creating moments where Clark could exploit mismatches or find open lanes. These insights were amplified on social media, with fans debating whether Reese's struggles were a result of inexperience, fatigue, or simply being outperformed by an exceptional opponent. As the third quarter began, the game's narrative intensified. Reese continued to fight for control, showcasing her athleticism through aggressive drives and physical contests in the paint. Yet Clark's ability to read the game, anticipate moves, and execute flawlessly maintained her dominance. Analysts emphasized that basketball at this level rewards not only talent but precision, composure, and adaptability, areas where Clark clearly excelled during the matchup. Fans witnessed a high-level lesson in strategy versus raw power, as Reese's athletic brilliance collided with Clark's calculated approach. The game also highlighted the broader pressures faced by young athletes under scrutiny. Reese's performance became more than just a reflection of skill. It became a measure of mental resilience, preparation, and the ability to handle public and expert criticism simultaneously. Sources close to her described the challenge of maintaining focus under the combined weight of live commentary, social media analysis, and the personal desire to perform at one's peak. This environment, experts note, can magnify small mistakes and turn them into narrative-defining moments. By the fourth quarter, the momentum had shifted definitively in Clark's favor. Reese's attempts to regain control were met with consistent counters, as Clark's scoring, passing, and strategic movement dictated the pace of the game. Analysts highlighted critical errors, missed opportunities, and defensive gaps, emphasizing how quickly momentum can shift in high-level basketball. Social media erupted with clips, breakdowns, and debates, amplifying the perception that Reese had been thoroughly outplayed. While she continued to fight, the scoreboard and commentary painted a picture of a player struggling under pressure, exposed by a rival who combined skill, intelligence, and composure. Despite the loss, Reese's effort was undeniable. She displayed moments of brilliance, contested crucial plays, and demonstrated why she is considered one of the rising stars in the sport. However, the overall narrative centered on her vulnerabilities, defensive lapses, decision-making under pressure, and the difficulty of matching an opponent like Clark in both strategy and execution. Analysts repeatedly pointed out that this game was not a reflection of failure, but a lesson in elite-level competition. Even the most talented players must adapt, learn, and evolve when faced with extraordinary opponents. As the final buzzer sounded, the narrative was clear. Caitlin Clark had dominated the matchup, while Angel Reese had been exposed under scrutiny. For fans, this was a game filled with excitement, highlights, and discussion points. For Reese, it was a moment to reflect, learn, and adjust. Experts emphasize that how athletes respond to public exposure and professional challenge often defines their long-term trajectory. This game would undoubtedly serve as a pivotal learning experience, shaping not only Reese's approach on the court but also her reputation, mental resilience, and strategic growth in the seasons to come. In the end, the second quarter and onward revealed the complex layers of elite basketball competition: physical skill, mental toughness, strategic thinking, and composure under pressure. Angel Reese had shown glimpses of dominance, But Caitlin Clark's performance highlighted the fine line between talent and execution. The story was no longer just about a single game. It was about growth, reflection, and the relentless drive required to succeed at the highest level. The stage was set for Reese's next opportunity to reclaim her narrative, demonstrating that resilience and adaptation are as crucial as raw skill in the world of elite women's basketball. The third segment of this intense matchup brought the stakes into even sharper focus. As the game progressed into the mid to late quarters, it became clear that Caitlin Clark's dominance was not a fluke, but rather the result of strategic precision, relentless focus, and a deep understanding of Angel Reese's tendencies. Every possession revealed nuances in both players' games, and analysts were quick to dissect the moments that highlighted Reese's vulnerability under sustained pressure. This was no ordinary game. It was a high-stakes mental and physical duel that exposed the fine line between raw talent and elite-level execution. Reese, aware that Clark was controlling the pace, attempted to recalibrate her approach. She pushed herself offensively, driving aggressively to the basket and seeking to assert her power in the paint. Yet Clark's anticipation and agility continued to create gaps that Reese struggled to cover. Analysts pointed out that while Reese excelled in moments of sheer athleticism, her timing on key defensive rotations was slightly delayed. These minor missteps allowed Clark to find open shots, deliver precise passes, and maintain her scoring streak. What was striking to commentators was that the mistakes were not a reflection of effort but of timing and anticipation, aspects that are often honed over years of elite-level play. Defensively, Reese faced an uphill battle. Clark's off-the-ball movement and vision made it difficult for Reese to predict and intercept plays effectively. While Reese managed to contest several shots and occasionally disrupt Clark's rhythm, Clark's composure and decision-making minimized these impacts. Experts noted that in high-pressure matchups like this, the ability to read the opponent and anticipate movements often outweighs raw strength or athleticism, a lesson Reese experienced firsthand. Her physical prowess allowed her to compete, but Clark's mental acuity and strategic execution repeatedly tipped the balance. Off the court, the commentary and social media narrative added another layer of pressure. Clips of Reese being outmaneuvered by Clark quickly went viral, accompanied by expert breakdowns highlighting missed rotations, defensive lapses, and rushed shots. Analysts debated whether Reese's performance reflected inexperience, mental fatigue, or simply being outperformed by an exceptionally skilled opponent. Fans weighed in, amplifying every success and failure in real time, creating a public environment that magnified every decision Reese made on the court. This scrutiny, insiders suggest, can be mentally exhausting, particularly for young athletes learning to navigate both performance and public perception simultaneously. Midway through the game, Reese attempted to adjust strategically. She communicated with teammates, repositioned defensively, and sought to predict Clark's next moves. However, Clark's adaptability matched Reese's efforts, nullifying many of these adjustments. Analysts highlighted that Clark's ability to process in-game information and execute accordingly was exceptional, demonstrating a level of court intelligence that allowed her to stay one step ahead. Every misalignment by Reese, however minor, became an opportunity for Clark to capitalize, whether through scoring, facilitating teammates, or controlling tempo. Reese's offensive execution faced similar challenges. Clark's defensive pressure forced her into contested shots and pressured passes, which occasionally disrupted the flow of her team's offense. Analysts emphasized that Reese's spacing and decision-making had to be sharper under such intense defensive scrutiny. Even minor hesitation or misjudgment allowed Clark to regain control and dictate the pace of the game. Social media quickly highlighted these moments, with clips of Reese's contested shots and Clark's counters spreading widely. The combination of live scrutiny and viral circulation intensified the pressure on Reese, highlighting how public perception can compound the challenges of elite competition. By the latter part of the third quarter, Clark's dominance was becoming undeniable. She had created separation both on the scoreboard and in momentum, consistently executing plays while Reese and her teammates struggled to respond effectively. Commentators repeatedly pointed out key sequences where Reese's defensive timing was off by mere seconds, yet even this slight delay gave Clark critical advantages. Analysts emphasized that at this level, basketball is as much about mental anticipation and quick decision-making as it is about raw power and athletic ability. Reese's struggle illustrated how even top-tier athletes can be challenged under precise, high-pressure competition. Despite the growing disparity in performance, Reese continued to fight valiantly. She contested crucial plays, attempted aggressive drives, and showed flashes of the athletic dominance that had earned her recognition. Yet Clark's consistency, precision, and calm under pressure repeatedly overshadowed these efforts. Analysts highlighted that while Reese's physical skills remained impressive, mental composure and strategic foresight were increasingly defining the outcome of the game. This juxtaposition became the central narrative of the matchup: athleticism versus calculated execution, power versus precision. The psychological aspect of the contest also became more apparent. Reese's visible frustration and tension suggested that the mental pressure was mounting alongside the physical challenge. Sources close to her team noted that maintaining composure while being scrutinized live, both on television and across social media platforms, added a significant cognitive load. Every possession felt magnified, every mistake replayed and dissected by commentators, amplifying the intensity of the situation. Experts highlighted that managing this pressure is as critical as technical skill at the elite level, and in this matchup, Clark demonstrated a mastery of both aspects. As the third quarter drew to a close, it was evident that the game had shifted beyond the scoreboard. Caitlin Clark's performance had not only challenged Reese physically but had also exposed areas requiring growth in anticipation, composure, and strategic adaptability. While Reese had shown moments of brilliance, the cumulative impact of Clark's dominance painted a picture of a player exposed under elite scrutiny, a narrative that would dominate commentary and social media discussion for days to come. In conclusion, this third stage of the matchup highlighted the delicate interplay between skill, strategy, and psychological resilience. Angel Reese's athletic prowess remained undeniable, yet Caitlin Clark's ability to anticipate, adapt, and execute under pressure had shifted the narrative. Analysts, fans, and insiders alike recognized this as a critical learning moment for Reese, a clear demonstration that at the highest levels of competition, success depends not only on talent but also on composure, anticipation, and the ability to thrive under scrutiny. The lessons from this quarter would be instrumental in shaping Reese's approach in future matchups, providing both a challenge and an opportunity for growth. As the fourth quarter began, the intensity on the court reached its peak. Fans were on the edge of their seats, commentators were analyzing every move in real time, and social media was flooded with clips, reactions, and debates about Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. The game had evolved into more than a contest of athleticism. It had become a high-stakes mental duel, testing composure, strategy, and the ability to respond under pressure. For Reese, this was the moment where the cumulative challenges of the previous quarters became most pronounced, and her response would define how this matchup was remembered. Reese tried to regain control early in the quarter, pushing herself to make aggressive offensive drives and to dominate in the paint. Her athleticism was still impressive. She executed several powerful moves and contested key plays, showing why she was considered a rising star. Yet Clark's anticipation and ability to read the court consistently neutralized these efforts. Analysts pointed out that while Reese's physical skills allowed her to compete, Clark's mental sharpness and quick decision-making maintained her advantage. Even slight delays in defensive rotations or minor misjudgments in positioning became critical openings that Clark exploited to maintain her scoring streak. Defensively, Reese faced one of the most challenging moments of her career. Clark's movement without the ball, combined with her precise court vision, created scoring opportunities that Reese struggled to anticipate. Observers noted that Reese's timing was just off by fractions of a second, and in elite competition, that was enough to shift momentum. Analysts emphasized that while Reese's effort and athleticism were undeniable, basketball at this level rewards anticipation, awareness, and strategic execution over raw power alone. The fourth quarter became a demonstration of this principle, as Clark continued to execute flawless plays while Reese fought to adapt. The psychological pressures intensified as well. With the arena packed and live cameras capturing every detail, every misstep by Reese became magnified. Social media and sports forums were buzzing with clips highlighting both her successful plays and mistakes, further amplifying the scrutiny. Sources close to Reese indicated that this kind of intense public attention can impact decision-making, creating moments of hesitation or frustration. Analysts on live TV noted the subtle signs of mental strain, Reese's slightly delayed reactions, moments of indecision, and the visible effort to regain composure. In elite competition, the mental component can be just as important as the physical, and Clark's calm execution under pressure highlighted the contrast. Despite these challenges, Reese continued to assert herself. She communicated with teammates, tried to anticipate Clark's plays, and made several strategic adjustments. She attempted to use her physicality to force turnovers and disrupt the flow of Clark's offense. However, Clark's intelligence on the court allowed her to adapt seamlessly. Experts highlighted several sequences where Reese's attempts to counter Clark's strategies came just a fraction too late, allowing Clark to maintain control and capitalize on opportunities. Each small misalignment became a teaching moment, both for Reese and for the audience observing the matchup. Offensively, Reese faced similar hurdles. Clark's defensive awareness limited passing lanes and created contested shots, forcing Reese into high-pressure situations where timing and precision were crucial. Analysts repeatedly pointed out that small hesitations or errors could shift momentum, and Clark exploited these moments with remarkable consistency. While Reese's athleticism allowed her to challenge Clark, it was clear that execution under pressure, composure, and mental acuity were decisive factors in this matchup. The commentary team was relentless in dissecting the fourth quarter. Every possession was analyzed, with emphasis on Reese's positioning, decision-making, and response to Clark's tactics. Analysts noted that Reese's effort was consistent and admirable, but the margin for error at this level is razor-thin. Small lapses, when exploited by an opponent of Clark's caliber, can create significant consequences. Social media mirrored these observations, with fans debating plays, praising efforts, and criticizing mistakes, reflecting the intense public scrutiny that accompanies elite athletes. As the game progressed toward its conclusion, the pattern became clear. Clark's strategy, precision, and composure consistently outmatched Reese's athleticism. While Reese had moments of brilliance, contested shots, key defensive plays, and aggressive drives, Clark's dominance in anticipation and execution maintained her advantage. Analysts emphasized that this wasn't about Reese lacking skill. It was about the need for adaptation, timing, and strategic execution under pressure. The fourth quarter became a masterclass in how mental acuity complements physical talent in elite competition. The cumulative impact of the game was unmistakable. Reese had fought valiantly, displaying moments of athletic excellence and determination, but Clark's consistent performance highlighted vulnerabilities that were now publicly scrutinized. Fans, analysts, and insiders recognized that this was a critical learning opportunity for Reese, a chance to reflect on decision-making, composure, and strategy in high-pressure environments. The fourth quarter underscored that elite competition is not only about raw ability but also about the ability to maintain focus, anticipate movements, and execute flawlessly under intense scrutiny. As the fourth quarter ended, the narrative was no longer just about who scored more points. It was about the clash of strategy versus strength, composure versus pressure, and intelligence versus athleticism. Reese's performance highlighted the importance of mental preparation, adaptability, and resilience, while Clark's dominance illustrated the effectiveness of precision and strategic foresight. The lessons from this phase of the game would resonate for Reese, shaping her approach in future matchups and reinforcing that elite-level success requires more than talent. It demands discipline, focus, and the ability to thrive under the brightest lights. The stage was set for the final quarter, where the last opportunities to influence momentum and leave a lasting impression would unfold. Fans, analysts, and insiders were keenly aware that the closing moments would not only determine the outcome of the game but also provide a defining glimpse into Reese's ability to respond under extreme pressure, a test of both her skill and her resilience that would shape her trajectory for years to come. The final quarter of the game brought the ultimate test for Angel Reese, both physically and mentally. After 3 quarters of intense competition, where Caitlin Clark had consistently exposed weaknesses and capitalized on opportunities, Reese now faced the challenge of trying to reclaim control. The crowd's energy was electric, commentators were dissecting every move in real time, and social media was ablaze with clips, breakdowns, and heated debates. For Reese, this was more than a basketball game. It was a high-pressure proving ground, and her response would influence how the world viewed her under the brightest spotlight.